But in 1946, Britain found a unique means to alleviate this problem, and in the quiet countryside of North Hertfordshire, the dream of a better future materialised with the birth of the first new town. Sponsored and financed, working through a specially created development corporation, its growth was assured. In time, it would be self-sufficient, offering ample employment, modern housing, and the finest educational and social facilities. There are now more than 30 new towns in Britain, each telling a success story of its own. But the heart of a town lies in its people. Only they can reflect the true qualities of their own environment. Nowhere is this more evident than in the first new town, Stevenage.
I like Stevenage because I've got a nice school and the teachers were right, and I live quite near the shops. It's a good place for playing football and you can do a lot here.
Well, I think Stevenage is a wonderful place.
Modern, up-to-date, clean. The kids are off the street, away from the cars. Beautiful.
For than London. It's cleaner.
I think it's an expensive place to live in.
I have no complaints about it.
There certainly was resentment in the early days and tremendous opposition to Newtown people and to the whole concept of the new town. Over the years this has begun to vanish and now it's far less obvious than it was. I think people in the old town have come to realise that the new town, far from taking things away from them, has brought untold benefits to people living in the area, with industry and an increased prosperity for everybody.
I must say,
living in Stevenage has certainly given us a better standard of living than the one we had on the outskirts of London, because work wasn't all that easy to come by for my father. But up in Stevenage, he's got plenty of work, plenty of overtime, and it's a beautiful pedestrian town centre. There's no worry about cars and traffic and all this sort of thing. You can just come and go around the shops as you please. Also a market 2 days a week with incredible bargains on the market.
We came from South London originally. This was 18 years ago now. Of course, there was not much here then, and the buses were very infrequent. But of course now it's grown so much, and it's totally different to 18 years ago.
I like the shops, and you don't have to cross the road to get to another shop.
It's so lovely and clean here. And, you know, it's ideal for children. With the factory areas being so far away from the town.
I have a car now. I have a very good job. We have very good facilities here for the children and everything else that we need.
And the shopping centre's wonderful. And I've got a lovely flat. I wouldn't part with that. We belong to the club, the Recommender Club, and we go there Sunday evening.
I know it's been the realisation of all my dreams. Ever from we was married, this is the first house we've had, and it's absolutely wonderful.
I think this is a marvellous place for bringing up children, particularly as it's a traffic-free zone where we live. I can go from my house right down to the shops without crossing a main road, which is very safe for children. They can play without you worrying about them. they would never cross a main road, especially for young mothers with young children. I think it's a marvellous place, and we seem to have practically everything we want here.
No, I don't want to spend the rest of my days in Stevenage. I want to retire when I'm about 65, a small cottage further out in the country.
We came down from London to Stevenage about 6 years ago, and we find the life great, you know. I've moved back for all the tea in China. I think it's a great life here.
I was able to get my parents here. They have a parent scheme, and this is a very good thing, I think, to have your parents living near you in this town. And they're now in a beautiful flat at Hobbs Court for old people.
Tea time, they came in, do just a little sandwich or a piece of cake and a cup of tea. Then they finish their day's work. It's nice to see them.
It was on the cold and frosty winter morn. The doctor said I was a chubby chap. And when the nurse, she took me on her lap, oh, she washed me all over like me man. And after found the party, you see, she laid me in the cradle near the bed, in the little shirt my mother made for me.
It was quite nice being right near my daughter. In fact, as we're sitting having our breakfast of a morning at our table, we look out of the window and we actually wave to her as she's going to work of the morning. So that at least she knows we're all right.
Oh, I didn't like the breeches I was wearing.
I wouldn't move out of Stevenage because if you grow up in Stevenage, you learn to like it. And if you look around, there is plenty to do in Stevenage, even though people say there isn't, you know. Because you've got the Bows, you've got the Mecca, you've got everything to do if you really look for it.
Ja, ich spreche gute Deutsch. Ja.
Nein, ich bin gestern in Essen gewesen. Nein, sie ist gestern bei uns gewesen.
Ist dieser Mann intelligent?
Hey, we've got now. Come on down to Boston. Got a dance. Yeah.
The main reason for the house is as a social centre for young people. We cater for any sort of activity which arises out of the young people's minds. The original idea was that this would be the heart of the club and people would be attracted into the Cellar Club, and from the Cellar Club we would feed into the different activities which go on around the building.
Am I dead? Now am I fled? My soul is in the sky. Come, blade.
My breast in brew.
My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew. My breast in brew.
beginning, shall we?
Oh, I hope she will be brief.
The new town itself hasn't physically affected the appearance of the old town. It is still an old town. It is still perhaps one of the most charming high streets in Hertfordshire. And when you walk up the old town, it's difficult to imagine that you've got a town of 60 or 70,000 people right on your doorstep.
The Barney Hill Adventure Playground was the first playground to be inaugurated in Stevenage. One of its initial aims was to channel the children's aggression into something worthwhile, which I think the playground has successfully achieved. There are around about 4 playgrounds in Stevenage, all of which are following similar lines to Barney Hill and the playgrounds in London. In the playground itself, here, we have many things to cater for the children. We have pottery, painting. These are inside facilities. Outside, their basic interest to lie with hut building. We sell food to them, which in fact they cook over an open fire.
When we cook our potatoes, when Mike gets them out, they're all ashes, and we have to eat the ashes.
Possibly because of the cheapness of land out here, Stevenage has attracted a good deal of light and semi-heavy industry. Lots of factories, BAC, Hawker Siddeley, Bowwaters, and numerous other factories on the factory estate, which means that for a young man fresh from school, he doesn't need any particular skill or O-levels, that sort of thing. He can find a reasonably well-paid job.
Come on, we must hurry up because time must be getting on.
I was spelling and appealing.
On, mate, time's hopping away. Come on, Jenny, look, you have to leave it now. Get your coat on. Have a nice day. Have a nice day.
For young mothers who eventually want to return to their jobs or careers, there are very good day nurseries. Of course, I know some women who say they'd never leave their children in one, but quite honestly, I think it's just because they've never actually been to see one for themselves. In Stevenage, the day nurseries are very well supervised, and I don't think any child could be better looked after, even at home.
Good morning, reception. Yes, thank you. Mr. Cox, 254, please. Mr. Cox, 254.
We have plenty of very good baby clinics where you can ask their advice about anything to do with childcare, diets and general upbringing and, well, any problems you have. This is especially important when it's your first.
Right, let's have a look at the first question. What's the answer to the first one?
35.
35 what? 35 inches. What sort of sum is it?
Schools like this, all over Stevenage, are probably second to none anywhere in the country. We get wonderful support locally from parents and people in Stevenage. People locally tend to identify a great deal with their local school, and they're proud of them.
Well, draw or paint some more planes.
Oh, that's very nice. Well, are you going to finish your fence off now? Haven't got much to do. We'll finish it off then.
I think the educational facilities in the new schools today are very good. I mean, young people are now given the chance of learning something practical about trades as part of their general studies. And as so many boys leave school to go into industry these days, it's a great advantage to have some sort of basic training to start with.
With so many places, it seems the young people can't wait to leave school and move to larger cities like London. But actually, this really isn't the case here, probably because there's plenty of employment in Stevenage. And whatever their qualifications, they know they can find as much opportunity here as anywhere else. I think it's also significant that they see Stevenage as a place with a future, and themselves as part of it.
Stevenage is one of 8 new towns built within a 30-mile radius of London, which have been successful in helping to alleviate the problem of London's overcrowded conditions. In 1970, its population reached 66,000, and each year, with the arrival of more young families, it is providing new life and new opportunities to a great many people. Like most towns, Stevenage too has its advantages and its disadvantages. But if the heart of a town lies in its people, then so must its future.